Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, August 6th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I'll do a bonus analysis at the end. A couple of quick clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. And then finally, if you would like for me to do an analysis on one of your positions, just comment down below in the comment section and I'll do my best to get to that in a future top 10 video. So stock number one, ticker symbol MGOL. Quite the mover today, and now we have a couple of very well-defined levels. So let's just first start with the breakout point here to keep an eye on moving forward. And let me be very clear, me drawing that trend line right there is nothing special. I'm not trying to imply that that's a great skill or a special discovery. The exact opposite. I assume that a lot of people are drawing that. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So while there is no guarantee, is it plausible? Is it valid to think that if the price comes up here and pushes up through that level, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a more than plausible scenario. On the flip side of things, in terms of areas of support, you have this nice uptrending line right there. Let me change that to green to represent support there, and then make the pattern easier to see. Let's keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big upwards move right here. If you golfers out there try to make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because it's a bullish pattern doesn't mean for sure the price is going to go upwards. But again, is it plausible? Is it reasonable to think that the price could get a nice explosion back to the upside? That is certainly a valid, potential situation. So if you like bull pennants, you like stocks down below $10, keep an eye on it. Next one, INDO, quite the mover today, and closing off the day very, very strong. You can see nice 30-minute session right there on what was the biggest volume of the day, and now final 30 minutes doing a little consolidating here. But all things considered, good solid move. So let's map out where some of these next potential battlegrounds are. First key level to watch moving forward, nothing fancy at all behind this other than just asking yourself the question, where did the party finally stop today? And that was up there at $3.93. So again, no fancy logic, nothing like that, just where did the party stop? And that was right there at $3.93. What about levels of support if there's any sort of pullback? First level of support, what I would call the ideal level. I mean, you say, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest going forward? That would be if the price can stay up here above $3.28. With that being said, from the overarching standpoint, it's not like if the price falls below that level, that implies the entire chart's destroyed or anything like that. But from the big picture, just keep an eye on that purple line down there, the 50-period moving average. Keyword being moving, because I understand price is way up here. That line's way down there, so very irrelevant right now. But as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher and get more and more relevant. And that's why I like to call moving averages trend lines for lazy people, because if you don't feel like drawing a trend line, just watch that trend line draw itself for you. And as long as the price stays above there, then overall the trend is fully in the bull's favor. Next one, UVXY. Crazy, crazy mover today with all the volatility in the market. And as I speak right now, the price is actually, let me just get this drawn so you can see it better. There was that resistance line right there. So a couple things. If you like to play breakouts, well then unfortunately for you, the breakout has already happened. With that being said, we now get to ask yourself another very exciting question. So instead of can the price break, well, it's already broken, but we get to now lead to the question of, is this the start of something even bigger? Now think about that question. It makes no sense to ask that question if nothing worthwhile is even happening. But something worthwhile is happening here, right? You got the breakout. So is this the breakout going to get even bigger? We'll have to see. To be fair, maybe not. Maybe this is just some sort of fake breakout. It'll fizzle and go back right to where it was. But again, to be fair, that is a two-sided coin because, I mean, maybe this is the start of something bigger and this thing's getting ready to rock and roll once again. So very basic premise here. The breakout has happened, but is it the start of something even bigger? If you like these sorts of scenarios, keep an eye on it. Next one, SQQQ, another big mover on this one today, and you can see that this thing has been in a very strong uptrend over the past several days. And we have, once again, a level here that I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to press you, not trying to imply that this is some sort of great discovery. I think a lot of people have drawn that line. Who knows? Maybe you already noticed it or have it drawn into play. But point here being, going back to that whole idea of those self-fulfilling prophecies with a lot of people watching the same levels, wondering the same thing. No guarantees, but totally valid in my opinion that if the price comes up here and breaks up through there, especially if it's a high volume break, that could create that much more upside buying pressure and give this thing a very realistic chance to potentially get back up to these highs from earlier today, right up there at about $11.60. In fact, $11.60, but just in order to break this up. Let me change up the style. There we go. So initial resistance and then next key level right there. In terms of levels of support, for those of you that like to play pullbacks, the level here that seems to stand out quite a bit right down here around this gap close location of $10.15. So all in all, nice little consolidation here. Can the price get another surge back to the upside? We'll see what happens. Next one, NVDA. Nasty move today. Although to be totally fair, from where things were at the open down here to where things bounced, good solid bounce, but that does lead to the valid question, is this the start of something even bigger? And I have no idea, but by using the chart here, we can make answering that question very straightforward. And in my mind, it's all about this area right here at the $97 mark. Why is this level so important? I'm not saying this will occur, but just for explanation's sake, if the price were to come down to 97 and then break down below, what would that be doing to the price? That would quite literally be putting the price right back in this range where it already was. Or said another way, that would imply that the price made a great bounce and then went right back to where it was. Not exactly a sign of genuine power or true strength. On the flip side of things, though, because nothing can go straight up, maybe the price comes down here, behaves like this, and then starts to curl back upwards. Now, all of a sudden, what would you have? Well, you'd have a set of lows right there. You'd have lows right there. If you envision each one of those as stair-steps, now you have stair-steps making progress in the upward direction, and that's what it's all about. That's what a truly strong move is going to do. Not go straight up, nothing goes straight up, but at least show signs of progress. So what is a quote-unquote sign of progress in this one? Staying above the $97 mark. So let's see if the bulls can get that job done or not. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching right at my website there's an area on the webpage that you can use to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and same idea of what I just talked about with NVIDIA. So I'm going to go through this one quicker because just talked about it. So yes, nice bounce compared to where it was. Got up there. So same question. Yes, nice bounce, but is this the start of something bigger? Does this bounce have genuine power behind it? Well, we need to find what we'll call the progress point, right? Because if the price can stay above here, then that at least represents the price showing signs of progress. And in my mind, that level is right here at 191 because we don't want the price coming down here and then violating that, because now all of a sudden you start to enter into those conversations of, well, the price is right back to where it was. But on the flip side of things, if the price comes down here, behaves like this, and then curls back upwards, now all of a sudden you have a much better and different conversation. That conversation being, well, that's great because now we have a set of lows here. We have lows right there, and you got those stair-steps progressing in the upwards direction. So as far as progress is concerned, keep an eye on that 190 mark. And then in terms of levels of resistance, nothing fancy here. Got to think that a lot of people have drawn a trend line very similar to that. So if you like to play more so the breakouts, then you have a nice little trend line right there to watch, because it is Tesla. So when popular stocks get beat down, they can make some very nice movements to the upside. Even if it's just a dead cat from a trading standpoint, sometimes that's all we need to collect our profits. Next one here, IBIT, same idea, and a lot of these, that's just based on the nature of the market today with the gap down, and then a lot of these things did bounce. So it's really just questions of, on a lot of these stocks, is where is that quote-unquote progress point that'll show whether or not the price is going back to where it was, or if the price is making progress. And in this situation, that point right there at the 2960 mark. So yes, no doubt about it. Nice bounce up. Is this the start of something bigger? Is there genuine power behind it? Well, let's see if the price can make progress. What is that sign of progress? 2960. In terms of levels of resistance, nothing fancy here. Just get a trend line in place right there. I realize that this is sounding a lot like the other one, but that was the nature of the market today. So, it is what it is. So got the bounce. Let's see if it can continue to show signs of progress. Next one here, SAVA. Very, very nice overall uptrend and very, very nice move today, even with the markets crashing. This one, put in higher highs. Now, granted, as I speak right now, there is a bit of a pullback right here, but that is just a couple of candles. When you consider where the price was at the start of the day and then as high as it got right there, what I've now been able to draw is a bull flag pattern. To be fair, I do understand if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 20 minutes, well then yes, from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad and you don't care about this bull flag pattern. So there is a couple different viewpoints here. So when I talk about bullishness and the chart being bullish, again, I'm talking about from somebody that cares about more so the bigger picture point of view, because from that angle, even with the pullback, all that's done is created this bull flag pattern. In terms of pullback areas, in terms of what would make the chart look the best moving forward, definitely if the price can stay up here above that level of 33.50. But as I talked about previously, from the overarching standpoint, just watch that purple line right there, that 50-period moving average. And as the line itself moves higher and higher, as long as the price is above there, then the overall trend is still fully in the bull's favor. Probably should have flip-flopped with SAVA on this one, but same general idea as the other ones. Tech stock, PLTR. I don't think I ever said the ticker. PLTR. But it started off very rough. Now a very nice bounce. Now I will say this one's a little different because this one isn't really anywhere close to the progress point, where some of those other ones were starting to knock on the door. But progress point here for PLTR, I would call right there at $22.50. So keep an eye on that. And then in terms of areas of resistance, got a very well-defined level right there. And even if you do break above there, I want to get too excited because not that far away, you then have the 50-period moving average looming overhead. So don't get me wrong, yes, breaking that red line from a bullish standpoint would be good. I'm just saying don't get overly excited because there's still going to be other areas of resistance that you need to focus on. But like the other tech stocks, good bounce. Is this the start of something bigger? Is there genuine power behind the bounce? Let's see if it can bare minimum show some signs of progress. Next one here, TQQQ, and this is what I mean about how some of these are knocking on the door of its progress point. So nice bounce here, yes, but progress point right there at the $52 mark. And although it's not quite there right now, it is definitely getting very, very close. So it becomes a very valid question to throw out there for tomorrow of, is this a dead cat bounce? Is this thing about to go back to where it was? But to also be fair, just because it's gotten close doesn't mean that it's broken down below it or anything like that. So maybe this thing will indeed maintain itself, head back up, and then you can start to make that argument that you had to have a set of lows right here. You'd have that set right there, and you do have those stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. In terms of areas of resistance, I think this one, easiest way to just simplify this is just, no pun intended, to watch that 50-period simple moving average, because like I've said, and you now know, with it being a moving average, that line will move itself lower and lower and get relevant over the next couple of days. So I'm very curious to see if the price is going to have enough strength to push up through that level. But yeah, no doubt about it. Brutal start to the day. Nice little bounce, although this one is knocking on the door of that progress point. Let's see if it can make progress or not. Now, I will get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders out there, again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can and should be used, then go get signed up for the free class. It'll be later this week, Thursday, August 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it is a genuine live event, and I say that because there will be a Q&A session, so if you have questions, please bring them. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I am now looking at the 4-hour time frame. So each one of these candlesticks here represents 4 hours and not 30 minutes. And that is because Bitcoin is open 24/7. And I want this video and analysis to remain relevant for as long as possible. So by doing these longer time frames, that helps with that. As I'm sure you're well aware, it was not a good weekend at all for Bitcoin. Namely, basically past 24 hours, things really fell apart. So I'm just going to go ahead and start afresh here because really, there's a couple of key levels here that really stand out. And I'm just going to assume that you're watching this video 15-20 hours after I upload this video. So question number one you need to ask yourself whenever you pull this up is, where is the price at relative to 49,500, which are these lows right here? Very basic, but very revealing. If somehow you're answering the question, well, Clay, it's 20 hours after you uploaded it and the price is down below that level, that's not good at all. That implies this bounce here has been wiped away. And even if it's just right there, again, that's still implying that that bounce has been wiped away. Now, with that being said, there is a difference if it's right here versus having dropped all the way down here and is, just off the screen here. Well, yeah, in that situation, that would imply that things have gotten that much worse. So there's a little bit of common sense. If it's slightly below that green line there, yes, that is bad, but it would be much worse if the price was, down at 47,000, for example. Now, if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, no, it's 20 hours from now, the price is still up above that green line, that in and of itself, good sign. Because worst case, even if the price is sitting right around here, that means that the price is still bottoming out. It hasn't pushed through those lows. So that still is a good sign. Not as good of a sign as if it's, way up here or something like that. But point here being, it's really all about 49,500 and whether or not the price can hold. Now, what would make me start to think that a bounce and a truly healthy bounce is underway? And that would be if the price can start to get some closes up above 55,600. So if you're saying, Clay, the price is actually up above 55,600, then I would say, all right, still got work to do, but I'd say that it's looking like a legitimate bounce and that the bounce could pick up that much more upside buying pressure. But like I said, use these couple levels, walk yourself through those questions, and that'll keep you up to date here on the Bitcoin analysis. As I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader to get signed up for this class, because what you're learning about can and definitely should be used in the world of crypto and Bitcoin. So go get signed up. It'll be later this week, Thursday, August 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And like I said earlier, it is a genuine live event, so bring your questions for the live Q&A session. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do a couple things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching for tomorrow. Or like I said earlier, if you have a request for me to do an analysis on one, leave that down in the comment section also. So thanks for watching. Get signed up for that free class. Take care.